What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Zach's Live Trader. Here with you, as always, I am the bearded boy wonder, Dave Bartosiak, and today, my friends, we're going to be talking about PayPal here, ticker PYPL. You guys should know PayPal. If you've ever bought anything on eBay, you pretty much had to use PayPal, right? Well, you didn't have to use PayPal, but it's kind of where it came from. So it was part of eBay, spun off into its own entity, and has been seeing some decent growth here. This is our new format here. Pretty much I'm going to stop calling it the new format because it will just be the format, where I've got my live chat window open here so I can interact with you guys. So I like that. Remember, there is a little bit of a delay. Speaking of delays, I almost forgot to send the link out today. So the good news is I told everybody. See, this is where I'm justifying it to myself, right? The good news is I told everybody we were going to have this. So hopefully everybody was kind of like looking at their mailboxes. But I sent it out super late, like 2 minutes before the show started. But remember that you should get a YouTube notification from Zach's Live Trader telling you there is an event happening. So that should happen anyway. But, you know, I still got to get that email out a little quicker. So sorry about that. So I'm going to give guys a little bit more time to go ahead and get in situated here, since it took me a little bit to get that out before I get started, right? So before I get really into the nitty-gritty, I'm going to give a few minutes for people to kind of trickle in. I see we've got kind of lower than average numbers right now, so I'm going to wait a little bit, and that's fine. But remember, we got a little bit of a delay here from the time I say something and the time that you guys hear it. But I will be answering the chat here real time, so this is all good, okay? And we got to zoom in on this anyway. So I sent the email. I sent it at like 2 minutes before the show started. So it should be trickling into email boxes little by little. So why no email? Well, because you caught me slipping. I got caught slipping. I forgot about it. There's a lot I do on a day-to-day basis. I know it seems like all I do is have fun on these videos, but this is a small portion of my responsibilities on a daily basis. With Zach's, I run our home run investor service, as well as our momentum trader service. So, lots of stuff. Lots of stuff going on. Okay. All right. Let's see how many people are here now. Okay, we got a few people here. I say we'll just go ahead and get started. Remember, this is getting recorded anyway, so if they missed the beginning, that's fine. They can see it later. Not that big of a deal, right? Okay, let's go ahead and start getting in. Oh, before I get in here and start digging into PayPal, our friend PayPal, what did we talk about yesterday? What did we talk about yesterday? We talked about Chipotle. And look at what these guys did intraday. Man, they spiked it all the way up to that 497, and now they're coming down a little bit. And where was the other end of that call spread I was looking at? 482.50s, right? So, something to keep an eye on. At least we're on the right side of that, so that's a victory. I'd love to hear if anybody did that lotto ticket thing. And guys, when you do those lotto tickets, you crush them immediately. Like, you immediately rip it. Like, that's the plan on the lotto tickets. Anyway, let's go back to the task at hand before I get too confused, and that is PayPal. Let's start as we always start, taking a look at the price consensus and EPS surprise chart here on Zacks.com. PayPal spinoff, you know, what is this, July 2015, right? Black line corresponds to the right y-axis, which is price. The green arrows are earnings beats, so they've beat pretty much every time out the gate so far, which is good. Multicolored lines are the evolution of the Zacks consensus estimates over time, and you can see that there has been growth here in PayPal, which is great. A little bit of disappointment as these EPS estimates have come down. It's probably the reason for the Zacks rank. Actually, it is the reason for the Zacks rank. I can say that with 100% confidence. And I can always dig in and see a little bit further what's going on here. And we will on our detailed estimates page. But first, just want to take this all in. So the growth has been there, so this is a plus. And even as growth stalled a little bit, EPS hit on both sides. We're down here and we're down here, right? So that's okay. But the stock still been in an uptrend the whole way. I promise I'm going to use this more. Stock been in an uptrend the whole time, right? And it's beat consistently, which is good. Okay? And right now, it looks like we got a little wedge forming. Now that's just on our price consensus and EPS surprise chart. Let's see what this looks like on the actual stock chart here. And one more indicator I want to add here, my little Chalkin money flow. This is a new wrinkle I've been adding to my technical analysis, is the money flow, because a lot of what I do is based in, I guess, volume studies, I suppose. Because just looking at price action isn't telling me the whole story. So why not use as much data as I have available? And in terms of stock charts, you got to incorporate volume data. So here I have this horizontal histogram of volume. Don't worry so much about the green and the red here, just the kind of overall. And you guys can see this sort of profile. It's almost like a normalized distribution, really, although it's skewed a little bit towards here. But this shows you that a big chunk of the volume has gone out here. Okay, so sort of if this were an intraday chart, we would call this the market point of control would be around here, right? So that's where like the big battle for PayPal happened in the past was $40. Now we know that areas that had been resistance previously become support. And that's exactly what happened as shares came down here in February. They came down to the support level, and now we're going higher. So that's bullish, is that it found support at a previous trend line, and now it's coming up, right? Another thing that we should like here is this nice positive trend line that we've got developing. And then previous resistance sort of at this $45 level. So we're sitting up here and we're wedging up against this resistance level. Now this has happened in the past because this sort of bid has been here, and you can see where the past resistance was, right? And the wedge still kind of came. So we're just kind of over on the other side of this initial wedge, and then now we still have this sort of gap up higher. Now I think you need to look a little bit more intense at this gap up higher. What was going on here? 10/24. I'm going to say this was earnings, right? Because that was 6 months ago, and we're in the sort of the same time frame of the month. So I'm going to say this had to be earnings without even looking at the data. Well, we have the data, so we can double check it. And you get the big push, and then, starts to sell off a little bit, right? So it didn't have enough conviction to get out of here, but it clearly defined that this was the resistance level. And here we are at the resistance, and it makes sense that there wasn't enough to get it over the hump, right? So what are we going to need to get it over the hump? Well, we're going to need to get an earnings report. Some good news out of this earnings report to really get these guys over the hump. What is encouraging, though, again, is these higher lows, the series of higher lows that have come in. And here, the stock finding support at the 50-day moving average before moving higher, okay? Now, I have an overbought, oversold indicator here that I like to use, the commodity channel index. I wait till this gets to negative 100, crosses over the zero line, that's a buy signal. So here you got sort of the perfect mix, a buy signal, along with the stock coming down to the 50-day moving average. That's a twofer right there, right? And now we're butting up against resistance. It's all looking good. The third wrinkle that I've been throwing in here is the Chaikin money flow. I don't know, Chaikin, whatever. Chaikin. I'm calling it Chaikin money flow. So this attempts to measure using volume and where the stock closed, the actual money flow into or out of a stock. Essentially, when this is over 0, there's buying pressure. When it's below 0, there's selling pressure. And you want to look for divergence between this indicator and the actual stock price. So what I mean by that is a difference. So in this case, we've got selling pressure mounting, right? And the stock coming down, okay? So that makes sense, right? They're moving in the right direction. And then if you notice a little later on in the chart, you've got buying pressure coming in. And then so this dip here, you see this dip as there was buying pressure, that's a buying signal because there's divergence here. This is showing bearishness, this is showing bullishness. This one kind of trumps, okay? So you want to find areas of divergence that are happening. That's usually a good sign. And also a crossover the 0 line is good too. Crossover the 0 line here. So they match up. So it's all good stuff. But you got to kind of take all this data in. So we've had buying pressure that has subsided a little bit, right? So throughout April, the buying pressure's kind of subsided and we got a small uptick and the stock did the same thing, and then now we got the technicals right there, okay? So that gives me a pretty good picture of what's been happening with PayPal. So that's why I like incorporating all this, because it tells me, what the heck is going on with PayPal, and you learn a lot from looking at this chart. Okay, now back to the Zaxiness. Let's go to the detailed estimates page, take a look and see what some of these other guys are saying about it. Zax rank at number 3 hold right now, and triple C's just across the board for value, growth, and momentum. They're going to report after the bell today, so we don't have too long here. And I know I want to start getting you guys, hooked up the day before. I got to get back to that, but there's just so many opportunities and just so much stuff going on. In the top 36% of our Zax rank right now, or Zax industry rank rather, for the industry. Although I don't know who else they're putting in their industry with PayPal, but maybe Square's in there, right? Look at this revenue growth for PayPal. 15.35 this quarter, 15.8 next quarter, 16.37 current year, 16.93. So even getting better next year. EPS, you're not going to feel it this quarter, but next quarter, current year, next year, all great numbers. What's surprising to me is right here, is that nobody's really been brave enough to be positive on them. Nobody. And you have a little bit of negativity, right? A little bit of negativity. Say that 10 times fast. A little bit of negativity, a little bit of negativity. Anyway, over the course of the last, 30 days, right? Okay. What's that done to the overall magnitude? Not much, but we have a little bit of negativity here in the magnitude going from, for next year's number, going from 173 down to 169. Current year from 142 to 140. 35 cents down to 33 here, so a little bit of negativity. Just, yeah. Now we'll look at the surprises, small surprises, right? So don't expect a big surprise here out of PayPal. Okay. So just to show you guys I was slipping, I normally have this all set up for you guys. Today we're using bar chart again to find our options chain, PYPL. Then you go over here, the options quotes, and it pulls it up for us. So they're going to report after the bell tonight. So let's switch this from the stacked view to the side-by-side view so we can make our quick little implied volatility calculation. 44.36. So we'll just call it 44s. Go ahead and find the call and the put there. Do the math on this. So $44 call is 113 by 118. So I'm going to call it 116. And the at the money put is 65 by 70. I'm going to call it 67, so that's 183. Divide that by the stock price. They're looking for a 4.15% move, or basically a $1.80. So 180 is what we're looking for here. Let's go back to my G14 classified charts here. And what have the moves been? So December quarter, negative 3.45. That big jump I was talking about before, that was a 9% move. Negative 6, 0.867. Of course, they weren't really in existence back then. So we can't go back any further because we got nothing. A whole lot of nah. They did, I think they broke out, they started to break out these revenue numbers so we could get some sort of revenue growth history. But again, there were no analysts out there giving any estimates because they were lumped into eBay at the time, okay? So overall, we don't have a lot of history to go off, and there's been a decent move, right? But, you know, I'm kind of net neutral on this, right? Because we got some 7% moves, got some 9% moves, and we're looking for 4 right now. Really just offering me no opinion here. Okay. So again, I'll go back to the front week expiration when we're talking about our more adventurous trade. Let's move this over to the front month. And remember, you got to keep an eye on these bad boys because bar chart loves to mess you up. So 140, okay. Stay on 519. They tend to refresh and then we get all sorts of messed up, okay? All right, so what did we say the market was doing? 180 to either side. So, and again, guys, I'm always kind of like loose with these calculations, so to speak. So if it's trading 44.30s right now, ticking either way, and then when we're basically saying 180, we can call that 46, right? I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. 46 or the 46.50, I suppose. So what I like to do is typically I like to take note of open interest around my areas of interest and just take a little gander at what the premium is out here, right? Because you go, well, if I wanted to sell out of the money calls on this or something, if on the bearish side, I'd take a peek at this, always. See what the market is pricing in and go a little further out and go, you know, maybe. Because even here, just eyeballing a 46.47, if I'm short that, it's like 22 cents, 78. That's not a bad call, right? But let me throw this out to you guys. What do you want to see today? What do you want to see? A credit spread or a debit spread? I'm wide open here because I got a few ideas either way. And I know in the premium channel, what we've been doing, or the premium videos, I've been giving you guys both. Well, all 4, right? A bullish credit and debit, a bearish credit and debit. But right now I'm looking for some feedback from you guys because I could go pretty much either way with this thing. What is it that you guys want to see on this? Do you want to see a credit spread or do you want to see a debit spread? Now don't be shy. We're not going to make fun of you or ridicule you if you go one way or the other. So go ahead and just throw out what you guys want to see. And I know that there's a delay here. Of course, Jerry wants to see the credit spread. Jerry, did you do any credit spreads on Chipotle yesterday? Just wondering. Credit. Everybody wants the credit. All right, guys. Let's do the credit then. If we're going to do the credit, man, everybody. Okay, fair enough. Okay, let's go back to the PayPal chart. And what were the levels that I was talking about? Levels that I was talking about was, I said 46. And then where's the other one? So if we're basically 44 and change, so $1.50 under that. So what, 42.50 I think is going to be my other one. 42.50. Right? All right, so 42.50 is down here. That's below the 50-day moving average, so that's good. So you could get a retreat to there, so that's pretty safe. And then the 46s, we're kind of out on an island, but that's okay. Let's do the math. Okay, guys. So if the market right now, and I just want to take a look, I'm going to do real quickly. I'm just looking at this 46 and where this is at 52. I just want to see where the front week contract is trading on the 46. It's 33. 17s. I like it. Okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to take a look at the front. We're going back to the front week on a credit. Front week on a credit spread. Okay? This evaporates real quick. And Bill, I like your calendar. I like your calendar, Bill. Okay, this is what we're going to do. So, bullish idea, bearish idea. We're going to start with the bears. Okay, so the bears are going to want to sell these 46s, right? Or even the 46.50. So I'm going to price out a couple of these. So first, I want to price out this one. And then I want to price out this one. So I'm going to price this, and I'm going to price this. Okay, makes sense? Let's do it. So if we did a 46.47, so that's selling the 46s, buying the 47s, it's 17 cents. Sell the 46 for 33 cents, you're going to pay 16 cents for the 47, that's 17 cents. Money at risk is going to be 83 cents. So you got 20% that you can make on that trade just in a couple of days, which is nice. But what happens if you push it out further, the 46.50 to the 47.50? You're going to lower your risk, right? Or your chances of losing money, essentially, because you're pushing it out another 50 cents. So the 46.50 is going to cost you 23 cents, and then the 47.50 is going to be 10 cents. So 13 now divided by 87, so that's a 15% rate of return. So what you have to ask yourself is, are you willing to give up 5% return for another 50 cents of cushion? Okay, now 50 cents of cushion on a stock that's trading at 44.30 is an extra percent of cushion, 1.1% in the stock. Okay, so that's what you got to look at here. So 17 cents there, 13 cents there. Okay, that's the difference. Maybe there's another one. Is there one more we can look at? Scroll back up here. It's IV. Yeah. That's okay. I think 46, 47. Back to the chart. The chart's got to tell me how healthy this 46 level is. And again, we're right at resistance, okay? So if you're bearish and you win here, they're definitely going to reject this level. So I think 46 is good enough. So bearish trade is short April 28th, so you don't have to stick around that long. 46.47 call spread for 15 cent net credit. That is the bearish trade. Oh man, Bill Phillips gave me the thumbs up. Now I'm your slave. Oh no. Thumbs up, that's all it took, Bill. That's all it took. All right, so now let's go to the bullish side. We're going to use this 42.50 and probably the 41.50, right? This is the ironic part about this, specifically here on the bullish side. If you're bullish on this and you're looking at sort of 42.50 level, right? So you're saying, it comes back and it won't get under the 50-day moving average. That's actually great, right? But if you're bullish long term on this stock, you could totally just sell the 42.50 naked, right? Without doing an actual spread. You could just sell the 42.50, and if it gets assigned to you, then great. Your cost basis is going to be 42.50 minus the 26, the 26 cents. So it's going to be 42.50 minus the 26 cents that you're getting in premium here. So your cost basis would only be 42.24. So if you're actually bullish on this stock over the long term, if you like it at 44.34, you're going to love it down at 42.24, right? So that's one way to be bullish on this. But if we want to not get assigned this and have to worry about it, and we're just hoping to get something out of the money that's going to make us some money, we can go 42.50 and 41.50, okay? And why not the 43? Because of where the 50-day moving average is. That's why not the 43. Anyway, so the 42.50, you're going to get 26 cents for selling that one. Simultaneously buy the 41.50, 13 cents. Almost a 15% rate of return. Okay, now you're going to have 87 cents at risk on this one, but that's officially my bullish trade. So the bullish trade is short the April 28th, 42.50, 41.50 put spread for 13-cent net credit. Okay, so there is that. So let me address Bill's call spread here. Bill wants to do a calendar spread. That's totally fine. Let's see what Bill's idea is. Long the 46 call out there. Okay, that's good. Short the 46.50 for 26 cents. Not a bad idea, Bill. Not a bad idea. You just need the stock to run a little bit, and you're expecting a run. So that's actually kind of aggressive, right? Because you're essentially saying that you're expecting a move above $46 on that, right? Have you priced it out closer towards the money? We'll have to see. But yes, that's pretty good. You got 20 cents at risk. And then you can make, once that short expires, then you can make unlimited money past 46 bucks, which is great. But it has to not go up past 46.50 and then catch the post-earnings drift. So I like it. I like it, Bill. Okay, what else do we need? We need a Lotto. We need a Lotto ticket. If PayPal really runs, so I think I'm bullish on PayPal here into earnings, okay? I like everything I'm seeing. And the other thing is, I'm liking what I'm seeing in the market overall. And you guys should too. You should like what you're seeing in the market, breaking on out to the upside everywhere, right? NASDAQ loves it. S&P loves it. The carry trade's back on as the yen is starting to finally weaken like it's supposed to, right? So all of the good things are happening right now. So I think in the short term, you have to be kind of overly optimistic and bullish on a lot of these things. And honestly, I like that this is going down today. I know that sounds funny, but I like it when they go down into the report. Look what happened in October, right? Sold off a little bit. I almost want these people to be... I don't like it when they're overly optimistic heading into the report, right? It always scares me because then it never pans out. Okay, so if I want to be overly optimistic here, Where are we at? PayPal's. I think the Lotto isn't breaking 46. Now, what's the most that this thing has moved? We can go back to here and see it had a 9% move. 9% move that quarter. 9.7, so almost 10%. So that's almost $4. Or that's more than $4 rather. So you're talking 49 almost. So I think that is the Lotto right there. Boom. Those 46s. That's the dice roll. That being said, I don't think it's going to happen. I think it stays under that 46 level. I think Bill's right. I think it stays. I don't think it's going to go crazy. Because what's the actual thing that's going to kickstart this? What's going to take PayPal to the next level? This is something that chops around, right? Stock kind of chops up over time, slowly accumulating. This has not been like a huge spike, and even when it does have a spike, it has a tendency to give some of that back, okay? It gives it back. So I think that's what we're going to see here with shares of PayPal. So, okay, everybody, thanks so much for hanging out with me here today on Zach's Live Trader. Don't forget, tomorrow is an action-packed agenda, my friends, with all sorts of stuff happening. We've got Amazon. We've got Starbucks. We've got the good, the bad, and the ugly. So all of that tomorrow. Friday, we're going to do the live Q&A, followed up by Apple. All right, so a ton of stuff to do. The week it may be the middle of the week, but it's just getting started for me. It's going to be awesome. I love it. And that's about it. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me here today on Zach's Live Trader. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you all mañana. Have a good one.